Hello guys, it's Peter from PS Sound, and this video is the annual giveaway for the Patreon guys who took part in the game. I don't think I have to introduce this situation now because we had it now already twice. All those guys who take part in the Patreon community and they learn from the content we share over there. At the end of every year, I advertise this option to give something back to you guys, and then at the same time you can also see, all of you globally, what people create on their own, and then it gives beautiful inspiration to everybody, even for me. I forgot to say, because I think this video is going to be shared in the new year in 2024. Happy New Year guys. I wish you great health and plenty of joy and fun listening to music in your own cars. You don't need anything better other than that, I think. So let's get to it. I'm not going to drag it, honestly. If you're interested in the previous year's content, the people who took part in this game, then there's going to be a link right at the end of the video, as well as I put the link into description, plus you will have a link to Patreon. Then you can see, if you have never heard about Patreon, PS Sound Patreon, that I can highly recommend to check it out, because now it's been running for 3 years and you get access to so much content. It's insane, honestly. And you can see what people with a bit of help can create on their own. It's amazing to see that I got 13 videos coming in, and we have a really wide variety of budget, age, everything, from anybody from young age, from like 22 all the way up. It's amazing. We all share the same passion, regardless of what age it is, what budget we have, and we all get to enjoy what we like the most, to have freedom in our car, have our little space of zen. I think we had that word last year sent in by somebody, but that was cool. So I'm gonna write the names down right in front of you. Hopefully you will see it onto little pieces of paper, like we've done it before. Chuck it in that huge bowl. Well, Mrs. didn't have the tiny little fish bowl we had before, but at least this glass is transparent. I'm gonna try to make it as transparent as possible, and she's gonna come in and pull out now 2 winners. This year we will have 2 winners, not 1, and they will receive very special tweeters from me. So here we go. So first is Sim. Babe, yeah, I'm just writing, give me a few minutes. So we have Sim, if I pronounce his name perfectly. There you go. So you just see that I'm not cheating. So let's just squash it a bit, chuck it in there. They're going to disappear in that big thing. Then we have Carson. There you go. Another one. Then we have Miko. Yeah, Miko has been with us for many years now. And it's amazing to see his creations as well when we go to Salzburg to Eurofinals, or whenever we have a chance to see each other. To be fair, we only really ever have a chance to see each other in Salzburg at the Eurofinals. Yeah, probably. And then we have Chris. Did I show the previous? I'm not sure. It's definitely in there. You see? Okay. Squashing again without showing. We have Chris. Chris won the giveaway 2 years ago. And he's back again. And he did amazingly a few months ago at the US finals. Then we have Mark. We have Mark, who was a European champion in Entry Unlimited in EMA half a year ago. He's got quite a system, that's for sure. Then we have Daniel with his Chrysler. He's had insane progress as well, and he's still pushing it even further. Then we have Thomas. There you go. Then we have Barry. There we go. Okay. And we have Micah. There we go. Another one. Almost there. A few more. Then we have Blake. And another one. Okay, then we have Adrian. Again, I don't know if I showed the previous one. I can't follow it. It's Adrian. Yep, two more. Then we have Fabian. Okay, and then the last one. The last one is coming now. Micah. Alright, so that's the last. Here we are. Okay. Mrs. is ready. Alright.
Hello guys, Happy New Year to everyone.
It's a bit big. Just let's take one first. Okay. So our first winner of the 2023 giveaway is Mark.
Congratulations!
There you go. First is Mark. Okay. And then we have one more. And then the other one. And the second winner is Sim.
Congratulations!
Yeah. Congratulations, guys. Mark, you are a lucky bastard. Well, everyone needs a bit of luck. I just put my Mark names out because we helped him a little bit, and he came with us to Eurofinals with Team PS Sound in April, and his car actually turned out to be scoring the best and doing the best. He became our champion, and he got my old tweeters. And now you're gonna get some different fancy tweeters. We will find a place for them for sure. And Sim, you also have a crazy project yourself, so I'm interested what you are going to do. I'm not gonna drag it. Please enjoy the upcoming 13 videos, guys. Find inspiration from them. Some guys show their builds, some guys show their progress of the installation, and some of them just talk through their journey. So you will only hear about their overall journey and what inspiration they found from PS Sound content. But definitely, as every year, it really shares a lot of value and a lot of information. Because what I share to you guys is one thing, but when you see other people just like you, seeing their progress, it definitely helps to give you motivation and then do something great in 2024. So enjoy the upcoming videos, and I'll see you in the next video probably.
Hello there, my name is Micah. I live in the Bay Area in California. I have been into car audio for about 10 years, I would say. It kind of started out with just adding subwoofers to my car and enjoying that for a while, and then I started taking an interest in sound quality audio maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I put a active two-way into my Lincoln Town car, and it sounded a lot better than the stock setup, but I'm learning now that there's a lot more to go. You can make it sound a lot better. So I have been doing firefighting for the last 3 years, and that's a job I really enjoy, but I just recently got married 2 years ago, and just a little over a month ago, my wife and I had a little baby boy, and so that's kind of just redefining my priorities in my life right now. I decided to go back to school for nursing because firefighting takes me away from home just so much of the time during the summer especially. So my wife and I are moving to Reno, which is about 4.5 hours away from San Francisco, so I can go to nursing school. So that's kind of what's been happening in my life recently. So we're leaving in just a couple weeks to go move there with the newborn. It's going to be a lot. I just got rid of my town car a few weeks ago and bought a new Chevy Cruze. Or sorry, correction, it's a Chevy Volt. It's the hybrid version of the Cruze. And I'm really interested in doing a top-notch stereo in this thing. Right now I'm at my parents' machine shop, which I grew up into, doing welding, fabrication, and all that stuff. And but they're getting close to retirement, so I feel like now is the only time where I'm going to be able to do any metal work to this car, because by the time that nursing school is over, they might be shut down. So yeah, let's go take a look at my project. All right, so here's the car. Peter, you announced this giveaway right when I started working on this thing. My hope is to be done with the metal work on this thing by Christmas, and then we're gonna move, so have no time. So here I am frantically trying to finish all this metal work. So yeah, let's take a look. I've been doing some of the choppy chop. That's a lot of choppy chop. So my plan is to run a Acoustic Elegance 18. I had ordered 2 of them, but I decided that I only really had room for one and still be able to retain some of the space in the back. This cutout here is for a battery tray. I have it welded up here. So the plan is for this thing to drop down in there. And then here's the ring for the subwoofer. These brackets are to hold it level while I built up the material down below. And then I'll be welding that around the edge and probably adding some epoxy to help stiffen up the areas where I can't weld. I might run some brackets down to these areas that are much more secure. This is very thin sheet metal. Okay, battery tray welded in. Got some few little gaps, but that's all right. I'll fill that in with something. But yeah, it's looking solid. Okay, I got this thing tack welded into place. I'm gonna pop these little support bars that are keeping it at the right height off, and then keep on weldy, sparky weldy. Welding complete. There's still some gaps that need to get filled with some sealant or epoxy or something, but man, this thing is pretty stout. Hopefully that'll do her. Mostly tidied up. Again, this is just trying to get the metal work done so I can finish the car at a later date. But boy, it sure looks like someone installed a giant sewer drain in my car. At day 2, working on this thing, got the back end tidied up. Now we're working on the mid bases here. Look at those chonkers. These things are freaking huge. Whew. So I'm hoping I'll get the depth. I do have some space here between the wheel well, like fender or whatever you want to call it, and the where it's going to mount. Got my rod in here to try and get the alignment, make sure that's all good. Take a look at the other side here. I've got that one marked. It's going to be big, very big. Well, look at that. Awesome. Boy, howdy. This driver's side ended up being a ton of work. Trying to get the space for that brake pedal was a big challenge. So I can mount the speakers backwards and then that'll be no problem. But I would like to try and face them in, and I'll build a spacer onto the ring here. But man, yeah, a lot of cutting and sanding and trimming the wiring on the inside. Well, not trimming the wiring, but like pushing it out of the way and trimming a little bit of the plastic, and it's just a snug fit, but it's in there. Hooray!
Something else I'm giving a try to is building my own amplifiers. These are some small chip amps that can be soldered up. It's kind of a fun little project. And this is a DC to DC converter to go from the 12 volts to what these guys need. Yeah, I'm hoping that they'll sound good and save me some money and be some fun in the meantime. I feel like this might be something that's right in Eddie's wheelhouse. Got the car back together. It still drives and looks normal for the time being. Now I just need to wait for the drivers to show up and start installing them and worry about the mids and tweets here shortly. Yeah, so the PS Sound Patreon group has been simply awesome. There's so much information, and it's wonderful to have a single source of information rather than the internet forums where you're hearing 10 different people's opinions and they're always just little snippets. It's never the full idea behind something. And with PS Sound, you get to have proven information in a great format and just learn a ton. But that being said, honestly, the biggest thing that I've gotten out of the PS Sound Patreon is the community. The Facebook group is wonderful, but especially being able to meet people in person. The meet I went to in San Jose, I got to meet Glenn and Evan, and I got both their numbers. I've met up with Glenn a few times, and he's great and fun to talk with and very generous with his time and efforts to help me on the path to getting this car set up. And Evan too, it's just so fun to be able to share the build progress with them, send them pictures and see what they say. So if anyone out there is considering doing it, please jump in and sign up for the Patreon group. Go to meets, get to listen to the cars. Everyone I met at that car meet was just wonderful, and it was so fun to be able to listen to the cars and just talk with people. It's supposed to be fun, right? So being able to enjoy that with other people, to me, is the most important part. So thank you so much, Peter, and yeah, take it easy.
This is Miko from Finland, and here's my Volvo V70 in wintry conditions, as supposed. And I shall give you a little representation of this. So, as a head unit, I'm using an iPad with the conductor, and the front stage is including Elac Jet 5 tweeters, Scanspeak Gold Series 11M or 12, can't remember, 11M, yes, 11M series speakers, mid-ranges I mean, and there I have Scanspeak Gold 16W mid-basses in the ported enclosures. They used to be in sealed, but I tried I just looked at the specs and thought that why should I not try to use an imported boxes, and actually they perform a lot better with this application. There's the magic word for you. And of course this one needs some power, and that is distributed here in the rear. The heart of the system, Brax DSP with two Brax Matrix MX4 4-channel amplifiers. So that one there is running the mid-ranges and the mid-basses, and this one is running the tweeters and the Scanspeak Gold Series subwoofer as well. There's a power distribution, and beneath there's another battery for it, and there's some little power distro also in the back. Go. So yeah, this one I should try to make even fancier with some lighting, but I'm still a bit confused and not quite sure what should I do with it. So there's a little builder's block right there. But so, this is the basics, and what this car has taught me is a lot of like how different locations and all of those affect on the sound, and there's still some things to improve as always, but some of the improvements are probably I will do for my next car, because I will change this car after Euro finals. So there's still some things hidden to be done in the future projects. One of the improvements is related to these Deluxe. There's a little problem with that. Oh well, it can be doable, but I might be a lot in a lot better situation if I had these playing just even slightly a bit of lower. So integration with this one would be easier. Then front top is one of the things that I've been thinking of, but these 40 boxes still go until 40 hertz, so it's really not a problem. But might be better dynamics with the front top, so that's one of the ideas to follow if I can do it. And that's Guy himself. Hello. And Peter asked me about what things I have learned of this all over the YouTube and Patreon things. One of the biggest things must be the effect of the location and the car, and which kind of characteristics different kind of cars have and different kind of locations have in the response. That's definitely the key feature for me. So I've had a clue already earlier that is like what all kind of that you need specific speakers or drivers in general to your application. That one I have learned earlier. So now it's more like a tuning related things, and there are a lot of things in tuning that, for example, acoustical crossover points is the only thing that matters, so that's a great thing to know. And I've come up with a new way to tune my system that is still in progress, that I'm learning. There's still some things to figure out, and it has taken some time to learn it. Like my previous car, it sounded amazing, but with this one, I really know, if I have a problem, I have a quite clear image that where it comes from. And now I can overcome the ways to fix it. So that's definitely thanks to Peter. And I've had also the privilege for him that he has listened to the car, not on this stage, but one stage earlier. But that's completely fine. And he gave quite nice compliments of it. Actually, even for my surprise, because I was more critical towards it. The car, not his opinion. Yeah, that's definitely a nice opinion. And actually, I proved him as well that those prox matrices can do the whole system. They can be dynamic as fuck. So there you go, Peter. Enjoy it. Yeah, there are still those things you need to know with those amps. So, and especially if you use the coaxial and Dirac sound thing. Dirac. I never remember which one it is with the prox and which one is in the mini DSP. It must be Dirac with the prox. Yeah. So I really like the car, and it's on its best stage till now, which is great because I'm going to Euro finals. And little things to tweak a bit still. There. So see you later maybe in Salzburg or wherever you might be. So bye.
Hello, my name is Tomasz. I'm from Poland, and I'm addicted to car audio. I'm building car audio for about 4 years now. Currently, this is my third car that I've installed my system in, and this car is a 2008 Opel Signum, also known as Voxel in some countries. So it's Voxel Signum, which actually competed in EMA this year, and I did compete in 3 events, and then I was able to compete in the German finals this year, which ended up with a 3rd place in the entry-level class. So I'm going to showcase the car for you now, together with more details about my install. I currently have a 9-channel system. It's powered by 2 Mosconi 4-channel amps and 1 2-channel amp, also from the Mosconi 1 line. The heart of the system is a Helix DSP Pro Mark II, and the system is combined of a 3-way front, which the tweeters, which are in the pillars, are the Steg SQ32. The mids, which are installed in the dash, are ScanSpeak 10F drivers, and we have woofers in the doors combining the 3-way front end, which are the more late TI 6.5. In the rear doors we have Audison Prima speakers, just a basic set as a rear fill, and the sub, which is all the way in the back in the sealed enclosure in the spare wheel cavity. As you saw in the intro, I'm using quite a different sub. This is a Bima 12BR70 sub, which is a pro audio sub, such as in studios, etc. It has got plenty of efficiency at 93 dB and really low moving mass. This is a new thing for me. I wanted to try and test how it would handle the car environment, and with a sealed box, it's really good. So one last thing I haven't talked about is the source. So I'm currently using just Bluetooth straight to the DSP via coax cable, and my Bluetooth receiver is not the Helix BT Heck, but it's a FiO BT30 Pro, which is a Bluetooth receiver with loads of capabilities and smartphone app, etc. It's a really good alternative if you want to have a good high quality Bluetooth connection straight to your amplifiers or straight to the DSP. It's got loads of outputs, and I can definitely recommend this solution. Hope you guys enjoyed the little introduction of the car and the install. I'm eager to see any comments and suggestions either on the YouTube channel, on our Patreon, or the Facebook group. We all can connect there. If you have any questions for me or for my install, you can find me on Facebook, the group, and I'll definitely answer your questions. So that's it for me. I hope to see some of you in Salzburg at Euro Finals, which I will be attending with the car. Hope to meet a lot of you there and meet the PS Sound group again. All the best, Happy New Year, and thanks for watching.
Hello, Peter, and hello to everyone from Patreon. I'm Mihai from Romania, and I think I showed you about 2 years ago my Scoda. I had a small system with Genesis amplifiers and Micro Precision 5 Series, if I'm not mistaken. And now, about 2 years after that, I made some big changes, and very good changes. The system is completely different, and I'll show you now what have I done in the last 2 years and what I have learned from Patreon and from Peter. So now the system it's made like this. On there we have 16.5 centimeters Masway speakers, MG series. There are very good speakers for IB, very hard. Maybe on this side you can see it a little bit better. Really beefy. And on the dashboard, hybrid audio, U3, and the famous tweeters. So about 2 days ago, before Christmas, this system played. I turned it on and everything was okay. It turned on and the tweeters just blow my mind. Okay, in April, I went to Salzburg and I heard the car of Eddie and Peter and the Amarok and the Scoda. And they blew my mind away. And I knew then how my car I wanted to sound. So I knew I need these tweeters. I knew I needed to move the mid basses because they were under the seat here and they would play until 160 hertz, nothing upward than that. So I moved them there. The rings for the speakers are made out of steel, so they're very heavy and they're very tough. And they're bolted on really, really, really good. I don't know if we can see around here, but that's the idea, not to see it from here. So the mid basses are there, mid ranges on the dashboard, tweeters there. The player, it's some Android stuff, nothing really important, but it has fiber optic outputs, so I have the fiber optic from that. Going to the back. So here in the back, it's something a little bit better. So I have Helix DSP Pro MK3 and Zapco 4-channel 150.4 and Zapco Z150.2 AP class AB. So this 2-channel drives the tweeters because no compromises, and the other one 4-channel drives the mid-bass and mid-range from the dashboard. And the subwoofer, it's a hybrid audio technologies in True IB, Legacia L15SW. It has 2 coils of 4 ohms each one, so it plays at 2 ohms. And underneath here is a very small MOSFET amplifier which has 1 kilowatt of power. So that's also good. Second battery here in the trunk. The power distribution needs a little bit tidy up, but everything until now it's okay. I tried to hide all the wires and make it pretty. Need to make it more pretty. It's still okay. Still a bit more work to do. So here it will be something that will cover everything. Gonna show only the subwoofer. And that's about it. The system is not very special. It's not very, I don't know, something that will blow your eyes away, but it will blow your ears away. It sounds great because when I put the mid basses under the seat, there was a lot of mid bass, but it was not playing up. So mid bass didn't quite catch up the mid ranges on the dashboard. Before I had the Massway 3-inch, if I'm not mistaken, but they were too far apart, so because of the location it wasn't that good. So I saw Peter moving speakers around, trying different things, and I said, okay, this car is also for experiments, so I can do this. Cut it, put the speakers there, mounted really solid. It's like rock over there and over here, and now everything just comes together. When you listen the mid bass, because the subwoofer is not connected yet, the mid bass acts real tough. It's like a small subwoofer, but the bass is from here. It's right in your face. I cannot explain it. It's exactly as I heard at Salzburg on the cars that Peter and Eddie built. But I'm very happy because I made it happen in my car. So until now, no tuning, no nothing. Oh, by the way, the director is up here, and I can still use this if I want to put my glasses over there, which I'm not gonna do. But it stays there and it's very nice. It doesn't get in the way. Now everything that's left is tuning. So I know that's the most important part now, because the tuning, we're gonna pull every speakers together and make it sound like one and make it special. I don't know how to say it. And this is the next big step. So I'm hoping to get to Peter's training and learn how to do all this. And if I can't get to Peter's training, I'm sure I'm gonna go to England and I'm gonna let Eddie and Peter solve the last pieces out because that's a little bit further of my reach. So I'm very proud of what I learned. This is a very special project to me. This is my few years work. I got to this point where I'm happy, and trust me, look at every video, try and understand everything that Peter said, and there's no secret recipe. The secret recipe is very easy. It's the most easiest thing ever. Location, installation, and tuning. If you put the speakers in the right places and you install them correctly, no tuning regarded. If you play the system, just the crossovers and play the system is going to be different for everything you heard. It's going to be just different. And after tuning, it's miles away. It's different. It's another planet. So thanks, Peter. Thanks, Eddie, for showing me and the rest of us the smallest secrets. You didn't have to tell us the secrets, but we kind of put the pieces together, and little bit, we're getting there. At least I'm getting there. So thank you for everything. And guys, please try to learn new stuff and experiment. Oh yeah, make the system the best way you can. When you turn the music on, the only thing that you have to say when somebody asks how does the car sound, just say this: quiet. And that's it. Bye.
Hello guys, my name is Fabian, I'm 22 years old and I live in Austria. Since I'm new to Patreon, I will show you my journey through car audio. Let's start when I was 18 years old. I got a Golf Mark III. The engine had a bit of a problem, so it was at the shop to get repaired. Before the car was even running, I drove to the shop to install some JBL aftermarket speakers and a Sony head unit. At that point I didn't even know about DSPs or even about deadening. Luckily the Golf Mark III has good speaker locations for the tweeters on the dash, so the stage was pretty high and the speakers were not directly locatable. Then I built a custom ported subwoofer box for the trunk, and I had a lot of fun to listen to music with my friends driving to school and back. The system was very pleasant to listen to. After school I worked for 1.5 years and got myself the car I always wanted, a BMW E64. But listening to music in that car was very exhausting and I always got a headache after time. The tweeter in that car was clearly locatable in the ceiling panel. I did some research and found out that the Harman Kardon sound upgrade in the E64 had a mid-range speaker in the door. So I bought a ground zero freeway set and installed the speakers inside the door card with some slight catti-catti. I also bought some low-pass filters for the partial self speakers because they are in trunk IB from stock and they produced some okay bass. After getting into the car audio topic a little bit, I built a closed box for dual 10s in the spare wheel well. I was quite happy with the system because I had no reference to any other sound quality car. But luckily then I found Peter's YouTube channel and learned hell of a lot. The question whether I need DSP or not was quickly answered. Now it was time to rebuild my door car from new because it was anything else than solid. Since I had no space in the kicks, mid-bass in IB was not possible. So I got inspired by the door enclosure built in Peter's Honda. So I cut my door card in half and rebuilt the bottom half of the door card from wood. I also spent some money on nice mid-range speakers and mounted them also in the door, but more on axis. So I could try the technique how Peter is always doing the pillars with little wooden sticks and fiber filler and of course the milkshake. These door enclosures took me like half a year to build, but it was definitely worth the effort because they play punchy and rattle-free kick bass and that's very beautiful. Meanwhile, I also bought a M4 DSP and additional M4 amp because it was cheaper than a V8 DSP. Since Peter always talks about the effortless bass a IB setup can do, the next upgrade was pretty obvious. Unfortunately, here in Austria we can't cut holes in our cars, so the only way to go was trunk IB. It came in pretty handy as well, because I had a lot of road noise coming from the trunk. So I got myself a pair of JL13W7 and installed them in trunk IB. In the spare wheel weld, I installed all the amplifiers and a second battery. Listening to these two monsters was a lot of fun in the last year. I also drove to a camping holiday with my girlfriend, and all I can say is that trunk IB is just so practical. The car was fully packed with stuff, you don't lose much space because of the trunk IB setup, and you can still turn it up all the way. Of course, for SQ purposes, the JL subs are not the right choice, so I sold them and ordered a IB AU15 from Acoustic Elegance. It will be mounted inside the IB frame I glued and screwed to the car. The reason you only see pictures of my car is because it is currently completely stripped out. I'm working on installing some Stag MSS freeze on the dashboard. So plenty to do this winter, and I don't know exactly what to do with my tweeters. Luckily, I am studying mechanical engineering here in Austria, so I have a bit more free time to work on my car. So I would like to thank Peter for sharing all this information on YouTube and even more on Patreon. Only with this information I got my system to the stage where it is now, and I enjoy it a lot. If you have any questions, or if you are also from Austria, please send me a message on Instagram. I would be very happy to show my system to anyone interested and listen to other people's systems. Thank you for listening and have a great new year.
Hello, greetings from Estonia. It's time to take the giveaway video. So right now I'm in my brother's garage and we are working with my friend's car, so it's directly PS Sound influence. Each simple daily system, some white bands, me kicks in the door, and two 8-inch subwoofers. And another influence is my PS Sound influence has touched my brother also. Shitbox, some of you know. Some tweeters, hybrid audio L65s, L4s, and these are L60 SEs, which are going to eBay kicks. So, my car. It's a transporter van. It's my daily, it's my workhorse, and now more and more my project car. I started with simple two-way system. It had to be just kicks in the doors and tweeters and sub. But when I find PS Sound, then it escalated quite quickly. Tomorrow I gathered knowledge, then I wanted to try something more special. So today we are a place where I have plans. So TSP Ultra Stag MSS 1M, which are already in the car. The mid-range is hybrid audio L4 SC, Kicks are hybrid audio L8 SE. Then I have 2 front subs, and then are these Ground Zero 15s, which are going to be in trunk IP application. So let's see what I have already done. So my system kicks, which are IB application. They breathe through the wheel well, as you can see here. Then meets in the dash. These are AI Sonic Solo 3s, which I'm going to replace with hybrid audio L4s. And I'm planning to do Amarok style, so raised from the dashboard close to the window, and yeah, that modular installation style. So tweeters, currently Stegemes S1Ms. As you can see, I have white A-pillar, so these PS Sound tweeters would look nice here. Okay, so front sub. Yeah, I have 2 of them. These are Rainbow GL10. And today they are playing down to 20 Hertz, so they are pretty capable. And here is my amps, TLS CCI series, and this is my brother's Helix TSP, which I have borrowed over a year now. And to make it all fit, as you can see, I have built a new back wall and moved it backwards like 10 centimeters, I think. So there was not another place where to put the amps. And the plan is to get some more amps for the subs. These TLS amps will be powering the front end, freeway front end, because they are class AB. So that's that. PS Sound influence. Yeah, as you can saw, it has influenced me, and through me some of my friends and my close people. But for me, PS Sound, basically I have learned everything what I know about car audio. Yeah, I think that concludes everything. Where to mount, how to mount, some little tricks about that. Or, well, yeah, my English is not so good, so let's stick with everything. And actually more important is that Peter can explain very well how the system should sound, how it should create feelings, how it should affect your body, like bass vibrations and all that stuff, and the kick impact. So though I haven't heard, I don't have quite well reference how the proper sound system should sound. But from Peter's description, I think I have quite good imagination how it should be. So I'd like to achieve that in my van also. Today I'm in the place where yeah, when I did demo for my sister, it took like 4 hours because he refused to leave from the seat, and for him it sounded extraordinarily good. When I did demo for my mother, it took also 3 or 4 hours, and he was so amazed. As you can see, it's my childhood place, and this is my brother's garage right now. We have some sound in here. Back there is some 18-inch subwoofer, so we have been quite annoying for our mother sometimes. But when I did demo in my van, then he finally realized what's it all about. So yeah. Actually, I don't know. I think it's all. Happy New Year and yeah, bye.
Hello Peter, hello Patrons, it's me again, Daniel from Germany. Yes, I would like to take place in the competition that Peter announced a few days ago. Nearly winter, northern Germany, it's not so nice, the weather. Okay, I wanna give a little sneak peek to my system. Some of you who followed me on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook knows me. I'm always at work at my car, and since the German finals, I'm so happy that I qualified for the Euros as a German champion in the entry class at Emma. The lowest class, but I'm so happy with this because it's my first year in competition, in competing, and the car seen so much changes in my equipment. I wanna show you the actual status. I wanna give a huge thanks and hug to Peter Hermanns. Maybe some of you know him, with a white Mustang from Germany also. He tuned my car over the internet. It was so crazy, and I said so, German champion, so Peter, vielen Dank. Ohne dich hätte ich das nicht geschafft. Okay, anyways, I'd like to show you what it's actually installed in my car and maybe give you a little hint what is happening in the future here. We are beginning with the head unit. The head unit is a tablet from Lenovo with Android 13, I guess. The app that delivers the music is Apple Music, also YouTube if I want. It's a tablet, and yes, you can see the USB-C delivering the audio, the digital audio signal to a topping D10S, and then via optical toslink to a Moscone 8-12 aerospace DSP. Also new is my self-built DSP controller. You can touch. It's a 4-inch screen touchscreen. I have a little joystick here where I can control the volume, the sub-level, and I can mute the whole system. I got a little battery monitor here, so I can observe how the battery is going in real time. And here I can change my presets. Mosconi has always 4 presets, so yeah. The whole electronics is in the booth. I hope you can understand my voice, because when we are going outside, because it's very windy outside, and I want to say a few words about it. My front system is a Gladen 28 Aerospace tweeter with new alignment. The optics are not so good yet. I will fix it later, because I want to have a fully functional system, because in January I met with Peter and we are tuning, or he's tuning my car again. The functional first and then the optics. In the dash, Gladen Pro AT mids, or I would say they perform very good. So here's one of Peter's big influence. Like he does in a Honda. I built tight enclosure with about 16.5 liter for the kick base, also Gladen. I'm not sure yet if I use 8-inch or 6.5-inch woofers. It depends how it measures on REW. I didn't know yet which woofer I would use. That's it for the car. You see, it's all messed up, it's dirty, but if you don't have a workshop and you use the car daily, that is the reality. Building, driving to work, coming home, drink a coffee, and building and sleeping and driving to work and build again and calm down, survive, because I'm always building on my car. But of course, when all the work is done, it's clean again, and yeah, nice to sit in. So here's my booth. I hope you can understand me because of the wind. Yeah, we have here one of the 2 subwoofers, one audio, 2 IB. He is breathing towards or outside with a hole there, and here should be another one, another 12 IB sub, also breathing through the hole. I can show you. There's the hole, but I'm still not in the trunk, so a lot of work to do until end of January. And here's the electronic compartment. Here is the main power fuses, a Meanwell 40 amps power supply. This is getting out of a car, and at this place there goes another little Mosconi Pico amp to deliver power to the front sub. I must always also build in the near future. The amplifiers, all Mosconi. I'm a little fanboy. I'm very pleased with the amps from Mosconi. Very nice sounding amps. Here we have the DSP, the Mosconi DSP, special edition from me with a little plexiglass. and a Raspberry Pi. And the Raspberry Pi is mostly for competition. It gets his signals via AirPlay from the iPhone and then delivered the music via digital out to the DSP. So that was a little workaround from my setup. The system with the new alignment of the tweeters, the new kick bases is not tuned yet. So I can hear music, but it's not so good like the system before the German finals. Let me talk to the end a little bit about Peter's influence. He made a video and said how PS Sound or Peter influenced his followers, his patrons, his peoples. I must say that mostly the whole car is influenced by him. Getting from SPL to sound quality, for me, about around 1 year ago, was because of Peter's videos. Getting in competition was because of Peter's videos. The big enclosures in the doors. Yes, I know he said, okay, True IB this that, but in Germany with TÜV, it's a big problem. So I built the enclosures to get the best out of the doors and Peter's influence. I want to go to a front sub. Peter's influence. The True IB. I was very pleased with 15-inch Gladen subwoofer in about 100 liter enclosure, and then I heard in Erkelenz Peter's S-Class and I was blown away, and I now I must have True IB subs in my car. Peter's influence. So yes, maybe I'm a mega fanboy from Peter, from PS Sound. Get my orientation where to go from one of the best sounding cars and one of the best installers I know in Europe. So I wouldn't be here when I didn't find Peter's videos at YouTube. So thank you, Peter. I hope to have a little chat at the Euros. I hope to hear Eddie's car at the finals. And of course, I hope to get a good placement in my class. So thank you for your influence. A lot of work to do until April. Yes, that was it. Maybe I give on my YouTube channel another update in the near future when the system is finally installed and looking good and sounding better. So until next time, ciao.
Hello Peter, my name is Barry. I'm going to introduce you to my 2014 Seat Ibiza. This is a budget build being put together by someone who has no idea, shouldn't be let loose with tools, doesn't know one end of a tape measure to another. So on the scale of things compared to what you do, I don't even make it on the list. But at the moment I've got a system that's playing. It's still in construction. Unfortunately, it's started raining again while I do this, so I'll have to do it from inside the car. Speaker wise, I've got the Voxel Access entry level 3-way set. As budget is an issue, going on the basis that the install is more important than maybe the actual equipment list, so trying to get the install as solid as I can, and hopefully with the tuning it all sounds pretty decent. I've done or attempted to do pillar bills for tweeters and mid-range, and I ended up joining the IB mid-bass club after trying some pods in the kicks, which I wasn't happy with. Space is a bit limited, and mounting points weren't that good to secure it, so I decided you should only live once. I'm not likely to be changing the car, so I just went for it. In the boot, have a Helix 12-inch sub, which I bought off Adrian, another Patreon member, and my amps is an old Rockford Fosgate 4-channel, which is powering the mid-bass and mids, and I've got another old Sony that I picked up off eBay cheap that's powering the tweeters. The sub's being powered by an old Phoenix Gold mono amp that I've had from years ago from previous systems. So that I think completes the and a Helix DSP3 doing all the signal tuning work. The car's been treated with silent coat in the doors, floor, boot lid. Has all been treated. Yeah, so the plans are to just try and improve the quality of the build. I need to redo the boot layout. What I would like to do is to change the Rockford amp and Sony amp for a Helix M6, so I just have the 1 amp powering the front end. Just have go down to 2 amps. When I can do that, then I'll redesign the boot and redo my wiring, which, as you'll see, is a mess at the moment. So in 24, the plan is to tidy up what I've currently got, make it a bit more respectable build, certainly tidy up the wiring. So let me just show you the pillars. Oh god, how do we do this? How do you change cameras? So this is the driver's side pillar, and over to the passenger side. I don't know if we'll be able to see the mid-bass carpets in the way. I need to cut that. So mid-bass in IB, That's the passenger side. And driver's side, mid-base. The doors on this car are like the Clio that you did. The speaker is bolted straight to the door card, and there's no vapor barrier. So basically the door card is the protection from the outside, so the doors weren't really an option. And on the passenger side, the bonnet release restricts what you can do for buildings, so that's why I decided in the end that I go for the IB. I think it may have paused raining for the moment, so I can show you the boots. I've always been interested in car audio from the 90s when I sort of first started driving, and I do have a copy of the Ayaska Emma CD from the 90s, which is here. So a bit of history from a 90s Emma disc. So
right, just a short video to show you the back of the car at the moment. 2023 was, yeah, an interesting year. A good year, as you can see. Yeah, I only went and won the 2023 Euro finals in entry unlimited, and all thanks to PS Sound, Steve Pegg from Voxel Works. You know, I can't stress how much good installation, speaker placement, right speaker choice and tuning makes. It makes it. Now the front is comprising of the Akiton tweeters you can see in the A-pillar. We've got the Steg MSS3s on the dash. As we move down, I have Audible Physics AP 6.25s in the kicks. Now this is I will say a working car. It's my work car. I've also got under the seats JL Audio ZR 800s. At the time of going to the Euro finals, they were the Audible Physics Aries SK8s. Yeah, they did a pretty good job, really. You know, well, I don't say considering, but yeah, they did me well. Now, I've never really been on. I don't really do much video before. I've been on the odd Patreon video, as probably some of you guys have seen before. Thought I'd mention a little bit about my journey. Where car audio, PS Sound, and everything, where it's taken me, where I came from, and maybe what lies ahead, and who knows in that way. I've been competing now for 2 years. I've done 2 seasons. I started this journey with no intention of competing, but a few people have said, you know, your system sounds really good, you get a lot of feedback, and I knew that obviously with advice from Peter, Steve and Eddie, that speaker placement, speaker choice, tuning is what makes a system. Now obviously the crowning glory of all that is the tune. You know, Peter's done a fantastic job, and I started with a good system. Now I've got a great system, something that I enjoy on a daily basis. This car, I drove 43,000 miles in it this coming year, or this year just gone, so I get to enjoy it a lot. It makes driving much more pleasurable, without a doubt. I've got to learn an awful lot through the Patreon videos, talking to Peter, talking to Eddie, talking to Steve. Steve, some of you guys might have seen, he had a red Golf with the 24 in the boot, and that thing rocked. So my audio journey is not finished yet. We'll be going to the Euros of this coming year, so in April 2024. If anybody wants to come and have a listen to my system or any other the systems that are going to be there, obviously there'll be myself, Peter, Kebler with the Amarok truck, Eddie, and many other people with all fantastic systems. You know, it's going to be amazing. Last year, say 2023, was phenomenal, absolutely unbelievable. I went to the Euros not wanting to come last. That's all I said. I said I don't want to come last. I only went and won entry unlimited. I say I won. Me and Kebler with the Amarok truck, we were joint first, but there was a certain section where I got I think an additional half a point, extra point, one more, which meant I took the first. It was, an emotional moment. Everything, it was just fantastic. It wouldn't have been possible without the people that I've previously mentioned. I would say my advice to anybody either going down this audio journey would be small steps. Watch, listen to what people are trying to tell you. I know Peter mentions the Patreon. I would subscribe. The information that is available there for people to watch and learn from makes a system. Definitely. Solid installation is the key. I don't know where it's... my system, I'm quite happy with it. In fact, I'm very happy with it. There are some changes to come. I'm not going to go into them because we've got the Euros, so there's got to be a surprise somewhere along the line. But yeah, it's just a short one, and just to show a little snippet of where I've come from and where I've been, I suppose. See you later.
Hey guys, I'm Adrian. Been a Patreon member from the very beginning, many years, and this is my little quick video just about my car. Haven't really done anything in the last couple of years just due to work and family and stuff, but I'm gonna crack on next year, getting one system finished and doing another system. So you probably already have seen this car on Patreon or on the YouTube channel. It's the Mercedes C-Class Sports Coupe. You probably know it from the kicks that were done by Peter. It's a bit dirty, so excuse the dirt. But yep, they're fine. They're still going. The next stage of the system is to complete the mid bass and the tweeters. So replacing these audible physics widebands and DLS tweeters, and they're going to be fitted with micro precision 5 series mids and 5 series tweeters. They're going to be in pillar builds, which I'm going to attempt to do when the weather improves, because it's winter at the moment. So that is how it is at the moment. The source, just a Pioneer P80 PRS, and then you've got the Zapco controller there, which is for the Zapco DSP. I've running a 6-channel Zapco amp and a monoblock Zapco amp. So this is my boot. So for next year, what I'm going to do is just carpet the floor, because this was wood, it was just sprayed, so it's just temporarily. So I'm going to get that carpeted. A new box, which is going to be slightly lower than this one and longer, so it fills up the width of the boot. And I'm also going to plug in this battery into the system, giving the system more power and better for playing on days when we have car meets, etc. So this is underneath the false floor. You see the Zapco amp. There we have the monoblock and the 6-channel at the back. So this is just going to be tidied up a little bit, but it won't be seen once the floor's down, and then I'm going to carpet it. And then going back to this side, the grey panel trim, which is the OEM panel trim at the side, will go over to this side to cover the battery. So it will just look like a plain boot when it's done with just a box. And then I also may get a grill for the new box that I get done. What I was also considering is the AP mids that are at the front, moving them into the back quarter panel here. Leave them in the pods, put them in, and then get an additional amp or maybe a new DSP, and then go for rear fill. So that is one of the plans that I'm considering for next year. But the biggest part would be fitting the new pillars with the mids and tweeter builds. Second part of next year would be the family car, which is the Citroen, and this will be OEM, so possibly the stuff that I take out of the Mercedes and some mid-bass that I've still got will go in here. And this will just be a factory update with using door locations, deaden the doors, put my audible physics RAM 6 in the doors, and then for the dash area, if you see up here, I will just put the audible physics widebands and possibly tweeter if it could fit, but probably just the widebands, and go for a 2-way solution up front. And then that will conclude this part of the build. And then I've also got a 8-channel amp, so it'll just be finding a way of tapping into the OEM system, which Citroen do. I know they do an upgrade, which I think might have pre-out, so that might be possible to use with the amp. And then that amp will go probably under one of the front seats, and then I will buy a subwoofer for the boot. But as it's an 8-channel amp and I tap into the system, it will just use the original wires. So the rears can be done on rear fill, leave them as standard, probably just deaden the doors, and then a sub for the boot. Yep, so this is how it looks when it's all up. Going to the audio. So I've looked online, and it'll just be taking the unit, this fascia off, replacing the unit at the back, and you can also include CarPlay and things like that. So that could be a good solution. Just keeping it OEM, and I'll also use Bluetooth from Tidal from my phone. as I said, it's just a quick, easy, simple upgrade, nothing fancy, and then that will be the first part of this system in this car. And then for the boot, it will just literally be a small sub in a small box, and it would have to go behind this area here, as I will still need access to the jump seat. So it will be a removable sub solution which can go in this area here, or when the seats are down it can be moved to the back. When the seat is flat, as you can see, there is no space, so can't really use the space underneath it when the seats are up. So guys, I hope you had a good understanding of what my plans are for next year. Priority will be the Mercedes, the blue car, which is just my own personal car, so I can really do what I want. And then something small in the family car, just so it sounds a little bit better and there's not such a massive gap in quality when you get from one car to another. But that will be the plans for next year. Both cars will be done pretty much over the weekends, and I hope to attend a few meets next year. I must say, since joining this Patreon channel, it's been really informative. I watch almost every video. Sometimes with work I catch them up a little bit late, but they're very inspiring. It's good to see other people's builds. It's good to see progress that Peter's making. It's good to see what other guys are doing in other countries as well. But it's just when you look at the fabrication details, when you look at the hints and tips, it does inspire you to do a lot more. I don't have a garage or a massive toolkit, but it just shows that what you could do, even if you can get wood cut to the sizes you want, and little ideas you can do, LEDs, termination, sound deadening. There's so much you can do without having to have a massive workshop. And I would say that watching the Patreon channel makes it seem a lot more achievable. Obviously you can't get the 10 out of 10 installs, but I would say you could get a 6 or a 7 by doing your DIY. And then obviously if you go for tuning, you can get 8s and 9s, and then it would only be literally the what would you call it, I forgot the word now, the aesthetics of it, the look of it, how you want to present it, how you want it to look. But as you can see from this video, for both installs I'm going for something quite not very fancy, but just functional, and it looks good, and it still allows the cars to be used for the daily shopping, hauling stuff, hauling kids. So yeah, that's my video, and I wish you all a very good Christmas and New Year's. And you should see this car with some updates either on Facebook next year. Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Hi, my name is Blake Bertline. I'm 21 and I'm from Wisconsin in the United States, and I'm making this video for the PS Sound giveaway. Audio started for me when I was 16. I was driving a hand-me-down car from my parents, a 2008 Mazda CX-9, and I was just doing subwoofer upgrades and installs through the years. When I turned 19, I was ready to do some door speakers and a little bit of full range up in the dash, and finally do a full system. Watching Peter's videos at the start made me quickly realize that everything that I was doing was very entry level, and most of it was wrong, to be honest. And I sat for the first several months just going through his YouTube. Then I joined the Patreon, and that's when I just started constantly brainstorming ideas of what I could do to make my car better, and planning out a system based on all the stuff I had learned from PS Sound. So getting into planning my first full build using a lot of what I had learned from PS Sound and Peter, I knew I wanted to attempt doing some A-pillars. And one thing that I get into is when I start a build and it takes a little bit longer than I expected, I start to just go down a rabbit hole of trying to find ways to make it even better, because I've already started the project. I might as well push things farther, and with this car, it quickly spiraled out of control in the best way possible. So here to start off, I have A-pillars. I've got a hybrid audio Legadia L3, and then I have the hybrid audio no housing tweeters. In these pillars, I did the exact steel shot and sawdust milkshake recommended by Peter. On the back side, I did everything with the 3D printing the ring, the speaker ring, and then quickly attaching it using popsicle sticks. I wrapped it in tape and did the resin mixture on the back side, and then I did Peter's recommendation of fiber filler and then eventually body filler to get these to where I wanted. I also incorporated edge lit LED channel right here that I custom designed and 3D printed. So there's LEDs on the inside of there that I'm not done with yet, but eventually those will hook up and glow across that strip, and then I'll be programming the microprocessor. Then for the head unit, I have a Sony 3200 series, but I redid the faceplate and actually hand formed this and sanded it. There's a 3D printed ring on the back side here, and then I covered the screen in tape, and then I was able to fiber fill all the old buttonholes of it, and then I hand sanded this form into place to put a new screen in there. Then I obviously have a little voltage meter and bass control. Moving down to the kicks, of course Peter got me cutting holes in the firewall, so I did IB 8-inch Legadia, the 8-inch subwoofers from them. So there's a grill which is double-sided with a waterproof membrane, and then I have a louvered grill on the outside. Those were made with speaker rings on a milling machine that I did, so everything's down to the 10,000th of an inch. So I have that down on the passenger as well as the driver's side. But yeah. So after doing the A-pillars, I quickly spiraled into I gotta do D-pillars as well. So here are my Murus 5 1/4 coaxial speakers that I put in for D-pillar rear fill. Again, I did the resin steel shot and sawdust mixture on the backside, and then I did the fiber filler, 3D printed ring, and body filler to get that outside form. And again, that's in that bedliner material paint. I'm still working on getting grills that will match the front of the car up there, so eventually I'll have those matching in the back. So I started as obviously a subwoofer guy and just loud bass, but I quickly learned how awesome that sound quality car audio is. But I had already done this 2 18s in a ported enclosure in the back, run down on a sundown SIA 3500. So I got 3500 watts RMS on these 2 18s back here. Then moving down to my amp rack, I have 2 excess power batteries. I think they're the D5200s. And then I have more influence from Peter here. I have a Zapco Class D amplifier that is running my mid bass. So I have each of them on, I believe, 520 or 560, somewhere in that range. And then for my rear fill, my tweeters and mid-range up front, I have a Zapco Class AB 6-channel amplifier, 150 watts per channel. I have 12 dB crossover protectors that I 3D printed, a little housing, and then I did an acrylic screen just you could see inside there just to add a little bit of an effect. You see I got all my wires nice and labeled. All the wires are twisted. And then another big influence here was the adding a DSP to the system. This absolutely brought everything to the next level, and watching Peter's RTA videos really influenced. Just a few extra things I wanted to add about the system. I'm running also a 400 amp alternator that I installed. And then besides pulling the dash, the whole headliner, carpet floor, door cards, seats, everything came out, and the whole car is done in kill mat, just from Amazon, the inexpensive sound deadening. But I have the entire frame of the car, whole ceiling done in kill mat. And then another thing, instead of doing the coal cell foam, which costed a little bit much for me, I did construction expansion foam. So my headliner in the back is actually like concrete up at the ceiling, and it has minimal expansion foam completely sprayed in there. So, well, it is permanent. The ceiling is rock solid and has no flex from any of the subwoofer stuff. So again, this was my first time really get into fabrication for car audio. I had a little bit of experience with fabrication, but I pretty much applied everything that you did, Peter, and your builds on Patreon, and tried to take that and incorporate it into my build as best as I could. And then now that I finally got it installed, just actually 3 days ago, I did my first full sit down tuning with a mic in the headrest. And I had been running it without a tune just because I had been so busy, and learning from your videos about RTA analysis and using the mic on RU made such a big impact. I thought I had just like a light tune on there that was making it sound good. But 3 days ago, when I really sat down and did a rough tune, making sure that every speaker was operating how it should, the magic, like you say, really started to happen. The drums went from, down by your feet and just shot right up on the dash. The fullness of the voices, the location being right up at the top of the windshield, like acoustic guitars over on the passenger side, or on the right side of the car would sound like full body acoustic guitars. But the magic just all came together, and I wouldn't be here doing this without Peter's guidance and without finding you. So for that, I just want to thank Peter. But I see this as a lifelong journey, and I couldn't be more happy to have found PS Sound to give me the guidance to start this lifelong journey.
Hey guys, here's my video for the PS Sound end of the year wrap up. My name's Chris. This is my 2011 Dodge Charger. Starting a rebuild over the winter, and it's pretty much gutted out right now. I've been working hard on this. So there's not going to be a whole lot to see right now, but what I'm working on right now is getting the mid bass mounted, and we're getting real close to having that wrapped up. So on each side, just got a holes cut and a metal plate welded in, and now I have a Stevens Audio MB10 on each side, IB vented out through the frame rails. I'll get out and show those holes a little bit in a minute. So I used to have vented Stevens Audio MB8s in the kicks in fiberglass pod. You can see the holes in each corner where those were at, and then those holes right up there going into the frame rail was where I had my Acoustic Elegance 10-inch mounted, vented into that frame rail. So now that I have 10-inch mid bass, I'm going to play around and see. I'm going to still include a front sub. About the only place I'd really be able to put it is over in this deep corner where the mid bass used to be, which should have plenty of room. So I'll see how the response works out. If I need it, I'm probably gonna end up putting it in anyways. And then next would be starting to put the dash back together and working on new mid-range pods. Mid-range used to be in the dash locations in the corners. The mounting wasn't super rigid, and now I have all this out. What I'm going to do is build a large fiberglass pod in each corner, so they're nice, solid, mount them very rigidly wherever I can get them mounted in at, and then probably going to put some 4.5 inch. I'm not real sure what my final mid-range selection will be. Might be a ScanSpeak 12, or I'm not quite sure on that yet. And then I'll do a little bit of fiberglass work on the A-pillars. I plan on cutting the existing pillars down and making new fiberglass ones and make them as absolutely low profile as possible, because the factory ones are built out, you know, an inch or two, makes that big hump in the window, and I want to make them as perfectly flat against the window as I can, so it's a smoother transition from the window to the side glass. I'm going to see if that makes a difference. And I plan on installing a set of Mundorf AMT 80s on the A-pillar right beside the mid-range. The mid-range I'm going to try to get as absolutely tight into the dash corners as I can, and up as high and close to the window as possible. So excited to see how that'll turn out. And eventually putting the dash back in, I'll probably be chopping it up, smoothing it down, make it a nice big flat dashboard. And I might even take the gear shifter out of the center and convert it to a column mounted shifter to give me more room to mount the players, maybe move some of the center dash stuff down lower. So I'll see as I kind of continue building. It's all work in progress. The back's kind of tore apart right now, not much to see. I might include a picture of what the back looks like now. Just moving outside here, this is where I have the vents cut out. Pretty decent shot in there. There's some bracing, but there's plenty of vent getting out to that. And then right up here, this is where the old door connector clipped in, and it's pretty bulky, and the speaker's really tight. It's right there. There's not a whole lot of room in behind it. So I'm going to try to convert that big clunky connector into just getting the wires through and sealed up. And then I could probably cut this out bigger and get a little bit bigger venting right there. And then as you can see, we are pretty much gutted down as far as you can go with this. Some people might remember on my way to finals in Alabama, my engine went out in the middle of Kentucky. So I had a trailer down there to compete and then trailer it back, and then I pretty much pulled the engine out. Still working on rebuilding it, so that's part of the process. This side has the same thing, vents cut out there. And then a little bit of a close-up. We got a 12x12 plate welded right into it. And I was going to mount them inverted so I could be able to mount them directly to the plate, but I think I want them cone in, so stacked them out about 1.5 inches, and that should work fine. Not a whole lot to see. That's where it's at right now, right at the very end of the year. So probably a couple more months of work before I can make it out to a couple more competitions. Really looking forward to it. I just want to say a quick thank you to Peter and PS Sound. The last couple years I've followed a lot of his stuff really closely. Been a member of Patreon for off and on for 3 years at this point, and it's been a really big help to me, mainly for inspiration, looking at all the the builds that he's put together so far, and Sharon. It's a big thank you for sharing as much as you do, so guys like me can get a good inspiration, good ideas for the install, for all the IB stuff he shares. It's a lot of fun doing it like this. So it's been a really big help. Be able to get a couple calls in with them. Meeting him at finals was awesome. And I'm really looking forward to meeting him again this year when he comes back to the U.S. for the tour. So looking forward to Steel Valley and then possibly finals at the end of the year. So thank you. Appreciate all that you've been doing and helping me with, and looking forward to how this wraps up.
Hey Peter, my name is Carson Steigerwalt, 23. My build is in a 2000 Jeep Cherokee. Front stage has the Moondorf AMT tweeters, Stag 4-inch mids, and 6.5 stereo integrity mid bass. Use a file player as my source. I have a bass knob, just because I was on the SPL before, and everyone had one of these. Kind of fun. Voltmeter on them. Back here, I have a Zapco DSP, Zapco 4-channel amp for the mids and highs, Sundown 3K for the subs, 3-kicker, Comp Q subs, lithium battery, Crescendo Symphony S4 for the mid bass. That's where all the ground is, and that's where all the power is, all fused. Wires are all sleeved and shrink wrapped. Nice and clean. The subs are in a ported enclosure tuned to 33 Hertz. Before I got into sound quality, it was all about bass and how loud it could be. I actually had these subs in a sealed enclosure before, but I never really knew much about sound quality and just wanted it to be as loud as possible. If I knew what I know now today, I wouldn't have gone with this, but it's still fun to, if I want to go crazy sometimes, I certainly can. And that is where all the ground and power comes up from. I just got this tuned a couple days ago by Nick, and it made a huge difference. He's an awesome guy, and it transformed my system, to say the least. Before this, I thought sound quality was kind of a joke. Especially around here, everyone's just into bass, and most things you see on YouTube, it's all about how loud you can get it, and I always thought that sound quality was super quiet, not cool. But when I came across your channel, it definitely changed everything. Before this, I had 4 6.5s, 2 8s, and 4 super tweeters, and it was absolutely deafening. But I was never happy with how it sounded, and I wanted something that just sounded good and was loud. And right after I got done with it, I tore it all out and started building this. It wasn't easy. It took a couple of months, but it was well worth it. And I wouldn't have been able to do this if I hadn't have found your channel and your Patreon. It's a great community. Everyone helps each other out. And super helpful. Now, before this, I was constantly changing out equipment, not happy with how things sounded, and I just couldn't be happier to come across your channel because I learned so much. So I think in a couple months here, I'm going to be getting a new car, just because this thing isn't that great on gas. So once I get a new car, I'm going to be putting a build on that. And that's what I'd be using those tweeters for. So thanks again. I'm going to continue to watch you guys. Love the content you put out.